Brigadir. All right, I think it's good now. Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us again. We are so excited and glad that we can get back to normal and have and meeting you in person. And glad we got few of friends could make it today in person. Very good, very nice. And also hello to everybody online who's watching us online, even in the YouTube or from the Twitter. That's quite exciting. We are back after 434 days back in person. That's how life could be. Exciting. But thanks again for being with us for this month's meetup. As usual, we go through all the upcoming events happening in the coming days, and then we got the Azure news. Then we have the main session around the cognitive services and specifically with the text-to-speech with Queenie. Upcoming events, the first one is referring to the Reactor series. So Microsoft Reactor in Sydney, it's their own meetup page, and they're organizing loads of events which you can find for pretty much any topics if you are working on, even if it's a dev, IT pro, or Office 365, Power Platform, anything you are interested, or even if it's not tech, you can find some other like softer skill sessions there. So they are quite interesting. They are all by community, which Microsoft Reactor at Sydney are organizing. So please go check their page and review all the sessions. If you find any sessions, you can join. All the sessions are virtual and they are doing online. So quite interesting session you'll find there, even from top-notch guys, cloud advocates, MVPs, or from community members. Quite good. Cloud Skill Hub is a new space launched by Microsoft and dedicated to learning. If you are interested to learn in any of the topics, for example, Azure or Microsoft 365, or any other platform, even Dynamics 365, there are heaps of learning materials prepared for you there. Even you can find all the events in person, events which you can do online or from the webinar virtuals. That's a new space launched a few weeks back. It's quite interesting. You can find very interesting materials if you want to learn it or boost your skill in any of those topics. Go check it out and give it a try. And one of the major events from Microsoft happening this month from 25th to 27th of May, based on that's based on the US date. So it's happening in few days. That's one of the major events that Microsoft is doing for the developers. That's very good if you can do. This year is also happening online. So it's very good if you can go check and register. It's for free. And it's very good to get you insight into what's coming new into the Microsoft dev space and for developers, and plus heaps of a new bunch of announcements and updates coming to the developer and Azure with the developer focus space. So anyone knows what's this? Yeah, it's absolutely Azure, but what's this? That's a new icon Microsoft designed as part of their Fluent design, similar to other set of the icons they have for example, Microsoft 365 icons or any other product they have, and they're going to use this one for all the Azure family products. So that's a new icon Microsoft design. It's not yet, I believe, transformed to the Azure logo officially. So if you go to Azure portal or anywhere, you still see the old logo, similar to this one, which I have. But I believe over time they're going to replace all that with this one, for example, in the browser with the favorite icons or anything else. That's quite interesting that they've dedicated one icon to all the Azure family and products. Public preview announcement. This month it's we're going a bit quiet because of the major event which is happening in few days, build, and I believe there would be a bunch of reserve for that MS Build event. So expecting loads of announcements and updates going out during the build. So, but for now, since the last time we met in April, so there are few small things we're going to talk about that one. One of the interesting one is the Azure Web Pop service. Azure Web Pop sub service is quite interesting service. They recently launched in preview. It's a fully managed service for which enables developer for building real-time messaging and basically integrating that one into their web app. So it's fully supported by the WebSocket and also natively support all the Azure integration services and everything. It's quite interesting if you want to add the real-time messaging to your web application. Also, say Microsoft serverless platform is also supported. You can use it with the Azure functions as well. And the whole point is basically it facilitates and you don't need to worried about setting up the WebSocket backend or any hardware or any server if you want to have the publish subscribe pattern implemented based on the WebSockets. So that service is launched in the public preview and it's available across all the regions. You can go and check it out. A new attribute-based access control or ABAC is introduced into the Azure storage. And basically, it's a new authorization strategy which you can control access to the Azure Blob. At this point, Azure Blob and Azure Data Lake Services Gen 2 based on the attributes of different, for example, resource or the request coming to the resource or the environment, and you can control the access to materials inside the Azure storage based on those attributes. And how it works basically is you can define the conditions on top of the existing RBACs, which is already there in Microsoft Azure, and then control the access based on those attributes, which you can get. At the moment, only supported is the resource itself, which is a storage account, and the request itself, which is coming from the client who is trying to access the Azure storage. That's quite interesting for basically taking the more granular control in terms of access to the data inside the Azure storage. AKS got the CSI for the secret store launched in the public preview. That's quite interesting, and basically it helps for to developers basically to have a load and number of, for example, keys, secrets, and certificates all mounted, all be able to mount as a CSI volume, which is a standard to all the running pods inside the cluster. And then in the runtime, they can access through and via the container file system. So that's launched and available in the public preview and supported by the AKS in all regions, which you can try and use it. Azure Purview is basically a new service as part of the data services from the Azure, and it's a service to help you unify, govern, and manage all of your data sources from multiple places in one single and central place, which helps, and basically it gives you other features after you onboard all your data sources into the Purview. For example, data discovery, if you want to do the data classification as part of your data governance, and a bunch of things available in the service. And the good point with this is now it's hosted and available in the Australia East. That means you don't need, if your business has the data residency issues for using this service, there is no issue now with using the Australian region, and we can host the service and use the service in the Australia East. It's available for now is a public preview, but soon will be launched in the GA. Any questions for this fall? We are also tracking the online visitors and online viewers. So if please feel free to drop your question online, and the friends and folks are monitoring that space also. And if there is any question, we are more than happy to get to them. If there is no question, let's get to the GA. So the GA services, again, around the Azure storage. So there is a feature which was preview in January, and now in the in GA, it's GA now, which is a feature to disable the shared access key authorization for the storage account. In general, there are two options for accessing the storage account. One is using the shared key, which you can generate, and there is a specified time frame and level what you can access inside for the data inside the Azure storage. And the other one is using the Active Directory, which is a very robust framework for authorizing and accessing the data inside the Azure storage. With this feature, it enables you to, and basically if you want to enforce only Azure Active Directory authorization to your storage account, you can use this feature and disable the shared key. And if you use this one, even all the existing clients or customers who have already a valid shared key to access the Azure storage, so all of them will stop working, and they only will be able to use the Azure Active Directory, which is already integrated and configured with your Azure storage account. So that's another level of enforcing and safeguarding your Azure storage in terms of the security. Azure Maps got a new pricing tier added to that to this service. So as part of this pricing service, basically they're trying to facilitate and simplify the pricing for using the Azure Maps, which they're calling Azure Map Pricing Gen 2. And basically, they simplify a bunch of things in terms of the pricing for this service. For example, monthly allowance, or there is no, for example, restriction for the query based on the seconds and transaction cost and everything. So even you get the option to go for pay as you go if you don't want to, and it's not like a Gen 1, you go with the fixed price or based on the number of the transactions. So that's more for encouraging to use this Azure Maps, which is very useful, especially if you're building for example, digital twins applications or anything that's quite interesting service. Application Insight got the GitHub work item integration in the GA. It was in the preview a few months back, and now it's in GA. And basically the whole point is when you have an application hosted in the cloud and running in the cloud, it's quite crucial to be able to grab all the performance and failure context and the data and see what exactly happening, which Application Insight is doing that one very well. And now we get the capability to have and attach all those captured data integrated into the work item, which you can create inside the GitHub, or if you, similar to the previous feature which was available, into the Azure DevOps. So now we get the two options to be able to create the work items automatically for the failures and performance issues, for the attached application from Application Insight, and we can get all the context and data which are already captured by the service and already available in that work item. And there are a bunch of enhancements between the preview and GA, which the team added to this one. For example, they added the icon to be able to identify if this work item is coming or data coming from the Azure DevOps or GitHub, and a bunch of other enhancements which you can review. Any questions around the GA's announcement or updates? So I give the guys online few minutes and seconds to review, and if there is any question, please shoot them to us. Cool. And useful links as usual to similar to previous months. So check out the new breakpoint show or webcast, which is Simon's at Microsoft Australia and the team are doing. So that's quite interesting webcast, which is live every Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning. So that's quite short, sometimes 15 minutes, 20 minutes, very short webcast, but quite interesting topics. And they invited different members from the community, from Microsoft, even from the customers. And they talk about the interesting stuff they are doing with the Microsoft Azure in the dev space or in the data space or in the IT Pro and AI, different topics. So there are already a number of episodes out there, which is available in the YouTube. It's always live in the YouTube, which you can watch on Thursday 11 in the morning Sydney time. But you can go and check out the existing and previous episodes as well. Similar to the webcast, videocast, there is a community in monthly newsletter specifically focused on the developer and which you can see the link in the dev community. And basically that's a tailored newsletter, again, and huge and massive effort from Microsoft Australia and Simon's team, which you can get very fine-grained and tailored and picked from around the world, anything which is cool. It can be the blog post, it can be an update from the Microsoft, it can be an event or anything which is quite interesting and normally very short, which you can read through in an hour, even if you open all the links and everything. It's quite interesting. And at the end, you get a chance to, similar to what we do at the beginning, to see what are the upcoming events. And if you are interested, you can join all those events as well. And similar to couple of previous months, we can provide Azure Pass as a free, which gives you the free credit if you want to use and start using the Microsoft Azure platform. If you need that, or if you need anyone that they are interested to join and the Azure user community and start using the Azure platform, please send the details and information, and we are more than happy to facilitate that for them and give them some Azure Pass. At least they can get a start to get their hands on the platform and start playing around with that. Any questions for that one? There is another thing I would like to add now here. So if you are following or if you are very active in the LinkedIn, so we are trying to basically promote our community through the LinkedIn page. So we have a LinkedIn similar to the same user group name, Azure Sydney user group. If you search, you can find that one. Please join that page, join that community, because there is a restriction by the platform and we need a minimum number of members join us in that page. So at least we can have the session similar to what we are doing on the YouTube live on the LinkedIn, and we really want to promote our community through the LinkedIn space as well. So please join our page in the LinkedIn and ask your friends or anyone who is interested in the Azure space to join as well. So it shouldn't be, it's not restricted to Australia, it's an online platform, and we would be more than happy if you can do that. Thanks for that. So let's take a short change break, and then we have the Queening with she's joining from Beijing. Yep, she worked for Microsoft from Beijing in Microsoft China, and she's going to talk about building a natural custom voice for your brand using the Azure Text-to-Speech or TTS services, which is part of the Azure Cognitive Services. And it's going to be a cool and fun session. Thank you. Any questions here or from online? Otherwise, yeah, let's take 1 or 2 minutes exchange break, and then we will have the main session. And it's quite interesting. It's our first ever hybrid meetup. So we have the first part in person, second part online. That's quite interesting. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Qingying. I have my camera on, but seems it's not working, so I will turn it off. Yeah, super excited to know that this is the first offline in-person meeting, and I hope every one of you and your family, your loved ones have been safe and healthy during this pandemic period. It's great to be here today. I am program manager of Azure AI with a focus on text-to-speech. So I manage the text-to-speech features on Azure Cognitive Services. Today, I'll be sharing with you our latest update of the TTS service on Azure. Let me share my screen. All right, 1 second. Let me share the entire screen and the audio. All right. Oh, can you hear my voice fine? Just to double check. Hello?
Yes, we can. Even voice fine. Yeah, even voice fine. Yeah.
Cool. Can you also see my screen sharing? Oops.
Yes, we can. When you're ready to start, if you want to start, you can start. On the screen will just be you and your slides. Would you like your slides full screen, or would you like to have your audio open?
Sorry, I cannot hear you clearly. Your voice seems remote. You have any issues seeing? Can you see my screen?
Hopefully you can hear me. We can hear you. We can hear you fine. Please start.
Cool. All right. Let me reshare. All right. Okay, so firstly, I would like to give you an overview of the Azure Speech Service with a focus on the neural TTS. And then we will talk about customization, how to create a customized brand voice for different scenarios. At Microsoft, we are building various solutions that rise the massive platform shift of the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. And this covers modern life, modern workplace, and various business applications. All these solutions helps our partners and our customers to empower their employees to help them engage with their customers more effectively and optimize their internal operation as well as transform their products. And let me start with a video showing how AI technology is used by Microsoft customer, in this case, Universal Studio, to transform their gaming experience for their users. I need your help. There's a young girl trapped in. Can you confirm that you can hear the audio fine? All right. I am using the uh, full screen sharing mode, so I cannot see the chat at the same time. If there's any issue, feel free to pause and stop me. All right, I will go ahead with the video right now. Inside this portal, and you have to get her out. Press the red button on the walkie-talkie and tell me your name. Satya. Satya, it's me, Jessica. You can totally help me. Did you see that? Yeah, I did. That was a Demogorgon. You gotta get me out of here. Quick, get its attention. Woo! Now's your chance to use your superpowers. Hold up both hands and kill it. You did it! That was awesome. Satya, you saved my life. Yeah, as you can see from this video, this is a great example of how speech AI technology is helping Universal Studio to transform the visitor experience. So with Jessica's AI voice, she can interact with the visitor real time and provide dynamic output with the realistic voice that take the input from the visitor. I need. So part of the Azure Intelligent Cloud offering is the most comprehensive pre-trained AI offering of Azure Cognitive Services. With Azure Cognitive Services, we provide vision, speech, language, and decision, which you may already know. And each of these services are highly customizable. And today we will talk about speech with more details. I like you to take away that this powerful speech capability is super easy to get started, and we have packed with powerful no coding tools to help you incorporate these capabilities into your application. And our team is also easy to work with. We are very active on GitHub, user voice, and we look forward to hearing from our customers, developers, and partners, and we can actually build our services together. With Azure Speech Service, we offer um, rich capabilities which cover speech recognition. It can enable our developers to convert spoken audio into text in real time or in a batch for more natural interactions. And the TTS was the latest neural TTS offering we can enable developers to provide highly realistic voices to their applications. And combining with these two capabilities, the speech translation capability enables easy integration of the natural voice out and voice in translation for various apps that speaks different languages. And with a speaker ID, we can enable developers to identify individual speakers and leverage the diarization to separate different people, different speakers from a dialogue, or use it as a additional factor for authentication. All these features are available with the Speech SDK, which is easy to get started. And better yet, we offer the same capability in containers. So you can deploy these services on-prem, on the edge, in cloud, or anywhere in between. And these capabilities are available in a broad range of languages. And with the powerful Speech Studio, portal, you can customize these models. And later on, we will talk more about the customization feature of TTS. So the TTS feature, while it brings voice to applications, the and helps your application to helps personify your application. So the more natural the voice is, actually the more convincing the experience would be. With the latest neural TTS technology, we can produce the synthetic voice to be highly indistinguishable from its human recordings. And we are continuing investment in the neural TTS technology. The since last since March, we have been extending the voices to support in total 60 languages so far. And this covers more than 170 voices. Um, and these features are available in REST APIs, SDKs, and also the no coding tool, the audio content creation tool. And if you would like to customize the voice, the custom neural voice capability can take the audio sample and help you build a one-of-a-kind brand voice for your application. Next, I will give you a few examples of how the neural TTS sound compared to human and the traditional TTS. Let me play a few audios.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
So this is one sample. And I will let you know which one is which after all the audios are played.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
And the last one.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the audio you can hear the audio fine and the transfer is good, but the first audio is the concatenative or the traditional TTS audio. So if you hear closely, there are some minor glitches in the output itself, and the prosody is not as natural. But the neural TTS sample is very close to the human recording. I cannot tell which one is human, which one is neural TTS myself. So why is neural TTS so much better than the traditional TTS? The traditional TTS separates the linguistic prediction and the acoustic or the prosody prediction in individual steps, each with a a standalone model and human interventions are always required. The neural TTS model combines the acoustic prediction and linguistic prediction, and this overcomes the limit of the traditional TTS and makes the prediction much more accurate. So it can capture the human intonation and the stress patterns. With that, the output is more natural than the traditional TTS. Besides, we also developed a neural vocoder, which can actually mimic the quality of the original recording and make the output fidelity highly close to its original recording. And with our multilingual, multi-speaker based model, which covers over 60 languages and thousands of speakers, we can easily adapt the base model with the additional training data to a target speaker across the styles and the languages. This also is um, the the underlying technology of the custom neural voice that we will cover in the next. So for TTS, we use MOS, the mean opinion score, to evaluate the naturalness of audio outputs. Normally, we invite external language experts in each spoken language, 30 or 50 of those, and we ask them to evaluate a set of audios, 50 utterances, and they will provide a score on a scale from 1 to 5. And this MOS score is the average of each language experts. So you can see for human recording, right, the average score is something between 4 and 5. No human recording can get to 5 itself because people have different preferences, and some like the timbre, the expression of others, but the preference can bring the score to be lower. So in this example, the human recording itself is 4.4, and the neural TTS output is 4.35, which is very close. We use the 0.1 gap, sometimes 0.2 gap as the significant difference. So this is within the gap level is within 0.1. In that case, we say these two actually is indistinguishable. But you can see for the unit concatenation, this is the traditional TTS. The difference is obvious. So the loss in the quality is definitely hearable from our test and our language experts. So with the neural TTS, what's the latest status? Now we support over 60 languages with more than 140 neural voices available. Oh, sorry, 170. This should be updated. 170 voices available, and with English and Chinese voices, we provide rich speaking styles that could be adjusted using the speech synthesis markup language. And these speaking styles will soon be extended to more languages. With the speech containers, we are actively enabling more neural voices to be available for on-prem deployment. Now, 38 voices are available through containers. I will skip this one and we'll give you a quick demo of using the voice tuning tool to adjust the different speaking styles. Okay. So with the audio content creation tool, it's super easy to test out all the voices and refine the output. Let me demonstrate it here. Oops. Okay. So this is the new Speech Studio. Actually, this has just come out today, and if you are used, and this is the internal testing environment. So if you are using the speech.microsoft.com Speech Studio, probably you'll still see the old version, but the new version will be out later this week. So now you can take a sneak view of how it looks like and what the experience will be. And we are adding new capabilities to this feature, to this portal. So let's go to the audio content creation tool. I have this one opened up already, so we can use this one. The use of the tool is straightforward. You just copy your text into this window and select the voices you would like to use and then speak. So these are the ones that I have tuned already, just to give you an example, and I can play a few for you and compare the difference. So this is the aria in English, and the style I have selected is cheerful. And this makes the conversation a little more energetic and fit the scenario. So let me play.
That's remarkable. You're a genius, Mom said to her son.
Right. So if we remove the cheerful style, the sentence will sound more neutral. Let me just switch it to an Australia voice, so you can test out the Australia voice, and also that's the different style, not Western style. Okay.
That's remarkable. You're a genius, Mom said to her son.
Right.
Customize output by slowing.
Right. So this is Natasha, the Australia English voice. And different samples, you can slow down the speed rate, add a break between words, and pronounce differently, make the word pronounced differently. So let me play this sample because this one is used quite often for some cases. If you would like to refine the pronunciation with a platform voice you select. Let me play this sample.
You can pronounce it ASAP or as soon as possible.
Yeah, so you can hear the voice is very natural, and the same input can provide the different output. If you check the SSML, you can see how this is tuned. For example, this one we are using the YinAU, the Natasha voice, and using the breaks, the break time, setting the break time. And here is how the say as tag is used. Let's interpret the ASAP as the spell. So spell these characters out, or to replace it with the pronunciation of these phrase as soon as possible. So it's straightforward. And after you have defined the SSML, you can easily copy it to your code. So you can, with this tool, you can instantly get the feedback of the output. And of course, you can also use the SSML alone to adjust the output if you prefer, using the TTS API or the Speech SDK. But the tool itself is intuitive and provides you the no-code experience and make the whole tuning journey interactive, so you can quickly get how it goes with your tuning input. All right, let's go. So the Speech SDK covers a wide range of programming languages. and available across many platforms. I'm not going to drill down to details for this one because I believe most of you are already familiar with this information. A few news that I would like to share. So with the English voices, we now have a new feature available in late March. So this feature provides you the ability to animate the face and lip sync in real time with the TTS output. And this brings all more opportunities and enables the new scenario where people would like to build a avatar or to do the lip sync for educational purpose. So language learners can learn how to pronounce a specific word. And this is an example of how this is used in a 2D lip sync vendors.
Apparently.
Right, and we provide two different views with this 2D vendor.
Apparently.
Right, and this is being used in Bing app to help people to learn the pronunciation of the English words, and you can easily connect this to more interactive and engaging experience with the 3D characters, and the output of these what we call resume can help you produce the animated view of the 3D avatar that sync with the TTS output in real time.
Apparently. Apparently.
Hi, Michelle. Tell me.
Right. Okay. So a quick view on what is coming next with these platform voices. We are going to announce the availability of 10 more languages that are supported recently. And we are adding new voices to the English US portfolio that enriches the selection for different scenarios. For example, we are adding a kid voice. Let me just play this sample, this kid voice in English. So in some scenarios, people would like to enable the audio content creation or audio book creation with a kid voice, then they can select this option.
For the two friends, this was their first mission together.
And we are adding more voices to other languages as well. All right, next, my favorite part, the custom neural voice. What was the customization capability? You can easily create a one-of-a-kind voice that can extend your brand to the AI voice with just a little training data. So the video that we just showed at the beginning is an example of how this feature is used with the Universal Studio. And we have been working with a lot of big customers and smaller startup companies to enable them to bring this to their customer scenarios and help them create more engaging experience. Let me give you an example of this ENGB male voice. So this is the human recording.
The New Yorker has a good record of commissioning articles.
And this is the TTS. Oops. Right.
Can I have your email?
Yeah, so you can hear the voice characteristics are captured very well. It sounds the same speaker. And the voice output itself is very natural. And this voice is actually can be trained with just half an hour of recordings, which is about 300 utterances. And we recommend for production use, the training data could be around 2,000 utterances. So it can capture more range of the different phonemes. And in the case that this is not captured in our base model with 2,000 utterances, you can still create a very robust voice that can be used for various scenarios. The benefit of neural TTS compared to traditional TTS is that with the powerful universal base model, as we talked about earlier, we can enable the speaker characteristic adaptation. So with these 300 to 2,000 utterances, we can already build a very natural voice. But traditionally, this could take longer than easily take longer than 10,000 lines or over 10 hours of speech data. And in terms of the training time, with the traditional TTS model and the recording time, right, it can easily extend to 3 months or 6 months. But with the neural TTS, it's like the 10 times effort saving. And not regarding the output itself is much more natural and realistic. So as you can hear, the capability is so powerful, it can easily clone someone's voice. So this is sensitive. And Microsoft take this into consideration when we launch this service as GA. The custom neural voice capability is generally available, but this is in a new product category, which we call generally available with limited access. This means it is deployed to the deployed to various data centers, but for the customers who want to use it, they must register their use case. And a review committee consists of the legal attorneys, responsible AI experts, and the product team will meet together to evaluate the use case and whether there are a few criteria. And I would like to call out a few things here. So the first thing is that to create a voice, the customer needs to obtain explicit permission from their voice talent. This helps our customer and also helps Microsoft to and our society, right, to prevent the risk from the identity theft. Because without the explicit permission, someone can easily take the arbitrary data from online and build a voice that the voice talent or the speaker, him or herself, is not aware of. And we certainly do not want that to happen. So the explicit permission is one condition, and also for the scenario itself, we outline a list of use cases that are appropriate and inappropriate for this capability. For example, you should not use this capability to produce misinformation or to generate content that you do not have the right to. So, or to call someone without agreement, to make unsolicited calls. So these are some samples of the scenarios that we should prevent. And there are scenarios that we recommend, like for the customer service, as customer service bot, for the virtual world experience, the gaming experience, where the persona, the voice persona itself, is built with a fictionary character. And also for healthcare, for online learning, and for people and to provide access technology to people who might lose their voice. So these are all very great use cases, and we have seen many partners and customers are leveraging this capability to build the solutions in these areas. And when the voice is deployed, we also require that the customer should disclose to their users that this voice is synthetic. So their user know they are interacting with a AI, not human. So this is one of the guidelines that our responsible AI advocates, which is the transparency, right? So with all these guidelines, we work with our partners, developers, and customers to provide a responsible solution and build the voice-enabled applications in a responsible way. All right, so here is the utterance that we require each customer to submit, and this should be done by their voice talent, and saying something like, "I, name of the voice talent, am aware that recordings of my voice will be used by the company name to create and use a synthetic version of my voice." So we will use this audio to verify the voice talent training data, whether they belong to the same person when the user submits their training request. I will quickly demonstrate how this works out with this Speech Studio portal. So once you log into the Speech Studio portal, go to the custom voice. Let me demonstrate the whole flow. So on the Speech Studio, select text-to-speech custom voice and I'll create a project. So these are the testing project I had. So let's go to the ENAU project, for example. First, you set up voice talent, provide the profile for the voice talent, and upload the recorded consent file. Then prepare the training data. This is actually very straightforward. Create a training set, and upload your data to a training set. And our platform will help you analyze the data quality along with a set of criteria, and we are adding more data analysis features to this portal. Basically, the pronunciation score is something you would like to check. If the pronunciation score itself is very low, so you'll probably want to double check the audio and the script. And correct the script if the script itself is wrong, or to record again if some of the words are pronounced in a wrong way. And signal noise ratio is also a important factor, because the noise itself in the audio in the training data can um, misguide the training pipeline, the training platform. So our custom neural voice training engine will also learn the noise from the training data. That is why for the low score, which the noise is high, you probably want to double check if they are like very subtle noises, the click noise, the mouse noise, or the environment noise. Those should be removed from the recording. So these are the tips for you to create the high quality recording data. And in many cases, this is actually the most important step. If the training data itself is well prepared, the audio output would be, as I demonstrated earlier, very similar to the training data. But sometimes people may the data is not well prepared, then it is highly recommended that every customer use a professional recording studio, so the quality can be better controlled. And once these data quality is confirmed, submitted the training, created the model, and for each model, we will generate test the script automatically and the sample audios. So you can listen to the audio samples and test the output, because the TTS output evaluation is very subjective, right? It is not like the speech recognition where the error rate is all often objective, but for the voice, it is about how people um, perceive the naturalness of the voice itself. So we, on one hand, we calculate the pronunciation accuracy, but on the other hand, it's about the naturalness and how you like the voice. So the listen to the audio and also invite language experts to help test the naturalness of the voice. Once it is confirmed, just deploy it, and you will get a unique endpoint for the TTS API, and you could easily incorporate that into your application. And lastly, I would like to share a few customer cases. The BBC, you may already know from our previous Build conference, Ignite conference. We have been, the journey with BBC have been evolving, and we have helped them build their voice assistant with a unique voice they carefully designed. Just to give you a sample of how the TTS sounds compared to the human recordings.
You can ask me for BBC radio stations and podcasts or an update.
And this is the TTS.
The people with hidden immunity against COVID-19. While the latest research suggests that antibodies against COVID-19 radio.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so the voice characteristic itself is very well captured in the TTS voice, and it sounds just the same as it's a human speaker. And now BBC is working to extend this voice to more scenarios, like to provide voiceover to their content, their news articles online. And we have been working with Swisscom to provide the brand voice for their smart home devices. So they have built a voice assistant with their TV set, and their users can interact with their device using voice. And also with the AT&T, we have built the Bugs Bunny's voice to provide a awesome experience with their in-store 5G store experience. Let me quickly play this video.
Today we've launched a new Looney Tunes 5G experience that is the first of its kind in the AT&T Experience Store in Dallas.
I'm looking for a golden carrot.
The experience is really fun and playful. Users play a game with an artificially intelligent Bugs Bunny that can interact with them naturally just using their voice. He's in 3D augmented reality.
The perfect centerpiece.
They can talk to Bugs at the big screen and help him find his golden carrot and then take a selfie with him.
Bradley, thanks for helping me finish the...
All right, I'll pause here. Okay. So the next I will give you a quick view of what's coming next. So with this custom neural voice capability, we have enabled customers to build their brand voice with their training data. But better yet, we can even allow customers to train a voice that can speak different languages. For example, you can use the English data to train a voice that can speak Spanish. And in this case, we have enabled the Xbox to incorporate the different voiceover in different languages in their game, the flight simulator. So you might have already tried the game, but just to give you a sense how this experience looks like, here is a quick demo.
Nance Tower, didn't copy. Please repeat for Cessna Golf, Sierra Charlie.
So Flight Simulator is using the cross-lingual adaptation feature to enable their pilot to speak different languages. But this actually didn't cause them to prepare more training data because they could just provide the English recording here, the US accent of the English recording, and we could then transfer this voice to different languages. And let me provide you a few samples. Here is the recording.
Welcome to flight training. I'll be your instructor, Captain Mike Barnes.
Let me try which voice? The French.
Bienvenue dans votre formation au pilotage. Je suis votre instructeur, le capitaine Mike Barnes.
Well, I don't understand the French, but I can hear the voice persona. The character itself is kept very similar. The voice timbre has been kept consistent with its English voice. So for this scenario, it is critical that Xbox Flight Simulator would like to maintain the consistent voice character across different languages. And it's very difficult to find the voice talent that can speak different languages and provide training data in that language, but still keep the same persona with the English voice. So in this case, the cross-lingual feature is a perfect fit. And this is something new, and it is coming soon. We will bring this to public preview so you can train the voice that can speak different languages with the Speech Studio portal I just demoed starting the end of this month. All right, I will pause here, and here is some resources to help you get started. We are active on Stack Overflow, and you can easily find our public docs, our SDK, guide, sample code, and the Speech Studio with these links. And we welcome your feedback. Please visit aka.ms/tts survey, and we look forward to hearing from you on how you experience TTS and what features you would like us to provide. All right.
Anyone? Okay. I do have a question for you. So if I want to train my own custom neural voice, what do I have to do since it is in limited access what do we call it's in limited access GA mode? So how can a business apply for this? Like, how can a business try without applying? Can a business do that?
Unfortunately not. So every customer must apply and get approved in order to use the service. So if you are interested, go to the aka.ms/custom neural. Let me see if I could stay on that page. 1 second. share my screen. All right. Window, this one. Okay. Right. So go to this link and apply for the service. So this capability is not available without approval. But if you have your use scenario specified and compliant with our responsible AI guidelines, and you can get the consent from your voice talent, and you commit that after the deployment, right? You will keep the use scenario as the one that you have applied and disclose the synthetic nature of the voice. Then in most cases you will be approved. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Is there anything, any information on the licensing part of it?
Could you elaborate that question? Licensing means take the model offline and use it on device or embed it in your application. Could you elaborate that question regarding the licensing?
So I meant to ask that we are paying for these services, right? So how does this licensing work, and how can I see the information on the licensing part? Well, what is like other cognitive services, when we use them, we we have got some licensing information available. Is it available publicly, or do I have to apply for my scenario first to get an approval, and then I will be getting some information on the pricing or the licensing?
Oh, got you. Yes. So in terms of the pricing, this the pricing information is available online on Azure.com, and it is the same pay-as-you-go pricing business model. So the model will be charged by the time spent on the training, and after deployed, you can get the voice hosted on Azure. We will charge by the time your voice is hosted and the usage of the characters. Let me share this. Stop sharing a video file. Okay. Let me see if I could share this screen. Okay. All right. So go to the Azure.com, find the speech service. This is the cognitive services, speech service pricing. This is pay as you go, so we don't call it licensing, but we do provide different offerings. The online pay-as-you-go pricing is listed here. For the training, it is charged by the compute hour that is spent on the training itself. Before we enable customers to train the models online through self-service, this custom neural voice option was provided through the professional service. But for now, the user can train the model by themselves and pay as you go. And for the synthesis, this is charged per 1 million characters that is produced with this voice. So this is very similar to how the neural voice is charged. And moving forward, we will provide more options like the container support or even on-device support. So different the pricing or business models will be discussed later.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Kuning, for your time and sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us, and thanks for your time. You have joined all the way from Beijing. We will be having our next meetup, so we'll be announcing that. And thanks to you, Quinning, as well. Thanks everyone who has been watching us. Stay tuned for the next one. We will be doing hopefully in person and online as well. The dates will be announced soon. So we are off for now. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I hope with it went well, and I know there could be some the delay in the audio, but yeah, thank you. Hope you enjoy the session. Take care.